Okay, I've just about got the radiator support finished. The pinch weld right here, on this spot right here, was actually pushed in, and this face of this upright was actually angled in and back that way. So I'm trying to get this back, and I can't get anything in that hole, like to bolt something through and pull it out. So I've got a slide hammer with a hook, and I just take the hook off. It's the only hook I've got for it, actually. But I've also got this attachment. This slide hammer came from Morgan. This attachment right here will go on the end of it, and that piece here slides onto a set of vice grips. So what I do is I take the vice grips, and this flange is actually too narrow. You have to run the screw in too far for this to slip on. So I use a little steel spacer that I made, just a piece of steel folded over so where it's thicker on one side. I can use this as a spacer. Clamp this on here. I actually pulled it a minute ago and didn't think to film it. But I'll clamp this onto the flange, and then this piece will slip onto the vice grip. It screws onto the slide hammer. This will slip right onto the end of the vice grip. Just turn it over so it won't slip off. And then you can pull, and make your pull. So I've got that pulled out where it needs to be to match the other side, and that way that front face of that upright is directly forward. So now everything's straight. I'll have the tie bar here in a day or two. I'll be able to bolt it across and cross-check everything, make sure the hood will align to that. I'm still waiting on the hinges for that, but that'll be the next step, is get the hood on, the hinges, and the tie bar, and then I've got the radiator out now because it's coming in tomorrow, so I've got ready for that. That'll go in next, and then all the other pieces when they show up. All right, I've started on the fender on the Civic. What I initially did, this part was just kicked out, maybe 1/16 to an 1/8. Just took a spoon dolly here, put it in here, and just tap that back down flat. I'm trying to not have to put any body filler in this if I can help it. Got under here, right where there was a low spot, and just tap this up. And I've got it pretty level. I'm going to just take a metal file here and just file this down flat. That way I've got surface close enough to where I can just prime it. I've got to prime it anyway, so I'm just going to prime it, and I can block that out, and I won't have to put any filler in it. Show me the low spots too. I guess you can see that. It's low right in the center where the scratches here and here are low right in the center. But that's enough that I can just prime it, be able to block it out. It's very close right now as it is. I'm mainly trying to smooth out the metal here again. This is not that big a deal. Alright, now I'll take some 180 on a DA and feather this out around this direction. Just sand it all off, and then I'll hit this with 400 grit so that the primer will stick and have something to feather to. That'll be next after I get the bodywork done. Right over there on the end of the fender, I'll put primer there and right here, and a little bit down in that spot there where the metal was coming off at the mud flap. I'll also be priming the hood where the ripples are through the center. I'm actually going to tap down the high spots there and then just hit that all with 80 grit and fill it. I'll show you that in a little while. Alright, I'm waiting on the hood hinges and the upper tie bar for the radiator support to come in, so I've gone ahead and pulled the carpet out, took out the front seats, a couple of trim panels here. The rest of them I was able to just pull the carpet out from underneath. I've got this propped up here with a scraper, just letting this dry out. This was a little bit damp. The carpet's over there. I just let it drip for a while. It's going to sit there for a few weeks while I do the repair to the car. I was able to lift the back seat up in the front, right in here, and just slip it all out. I vacuumed all the water out in the floor pan, so that's just going to dry out pretty quick by itself there. I blew the heater on the carpet over there while I was doing the primer on that bumper earlier today, so they got a little bit of heat to kind of accelerate the drying on that. But it should be fine by the time I need to put it back in when I get done with the car. Car will need to be put back together completely to get it inspected, so I'll have to put that in before I can sell the car, or at least market it. So it's got to be completely done. I'll be back in a little while with some parts. Alright, I got the hood hinges in. Mounted the hood already to the car. These are both aftermarket hinges, but they actually lined up pretty well. Both of those in. Now where the other hinge was from the factory here, I'm going to have to take some paint and touch that up so that it doesn't rust. But other than that, I'm probably just going to leave those in position there. I got the hood on. It was slightly turned like this, so I rocked it on the hinges to get it to turn a little bit to line the gaps up. Right now, I've got this used upper tie bar that I've got. Got that bolted in right there. There's a bolt in the front and one behind here, and this through this tab right here. They go there, but those aren't in right now. Just got it bolted in here so I can test the latch. Hood's coming down right in the center, and it is latching. I got the bumpers adjusted where everything's right. This hole for this bolt in here is actually rotated back slightly at an angle, just from when this got pushed in. So I'm going to grab this with the slide hammer. I'm not going to pull out a whole lot because I don't want to strip the threads in the radiator support, but I'm going to put some leverage on it as I pull out. And I'm going to straighten that hole back up so the bolts will go in there to a flat surface. So I can get the bolt in there, but it's just going to have to bend it when it goes through. I don't want this getting deformed. So I'm going to pull on that. I'll show you that real quick. Once I get everything lined up, I'm going to put the bumper on it, make sure that and the grill fit with no problems. Alright, I'm using the same vice grip attachment on the slide hammer as I did on the other side over there. I'm just going to pull out and tap it a little bit just to get it to rotate that hole out a little bit. Alright, I think that's got it. Be right back with the bumper and grill. Okay, I've got the bumper and grill in. Had to do some adjusting on that headlight over there. I'd actually cut the mounting bracket that goes underneath it and mounts it to the radiator support going in that way. I cut it because it needed a little clearance, and turns out I needed to put that back, so I just had to put a little shim behind it. I may end up just buying another bracket because I've got to take the headlight back out anyway to paint the fender, and that bracket was maybe $7 or $8. So I may just replace that bracket and go back to the original dimension on it. Not have to shim it, but I want to show you the fitment of everything. I've got screws in here and here to hold the grill back where it's going to be. This will all come back off, and this will come out, and I'll paint this black. Touch up the paint over here where it needs to be. I'll probably actually mist some paint over to blend it in to the existing support. Run you around and look at it. This right here is about flush. Just have to bodywork that spot. Pretty decent gaps, probably 3/16 or so. Bumper fits pretty well. It's just aftermarket. Cost about $75. Pretty good deal. Pretty good fitment here. Got this fender right in that groove of the light where it's supposed to be. Light's a little bit tight there. It's actually supposed to fit right there into that pocket anyway, so that's really not an issue. It fits pretty well. It's clipped in and needs a screw in the back, but I'll do that later. This is, even with the into the bumper there. They're slightly overlapped. Same thing here. Got about a 1/4 inch of the headlight showing there on that edge between that and the grill. And it's almost identical there. Everything looks pretty good. I think that's about where I'm going to leave it. Doesn't really need any more work. I'm going to start doing body work now. I've got to do the hood where it's rippled, and then a couple places on each fender. And just paint everything, put it back together, and it's going to be done pretty soon. See you later.